Hi, Joe. Um, what I've got set here is one of the pictures you sent me, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Before you get alarmed, this is going to be posted to a secret link only kind of YouTube video. Just so you have access to it, you can find it, you can come back, and then we'll talk about just some not critique. Well, we're going to look at the critique on this, and we're going to try together. Well, I'm going to be talking to let you see. Why is it doing that? I wonder. Anyway, there we are. There we go. Now we can work. Methods and things to address your image. So I'm going to talk about this because I looked at a few of them, and I see a few things. Do this. So let me see. Got my stylus. We're good to go now. Let me move my piece. Oh, actually, I don't really need any of this. Can I just? Yeah. I can full screen this so I can see better. I don't have to. I'm used to working with the chat. Hide that. Move this. Okay, so, and actually, real quick, let me just come over here and go full screen like that, so that you should. Yeah. Oh no. There we go. Sorry, something went wrong. I don't know why it went wrong, so I have to fix it again. Share screen. Window. There we are. All right, should be able to see this okay. What we have, and I'm just going to be able to mark because I'm on another layer, and just to make things easier, I'm going to multiply. That way there's no problem. You have a nice figure here. All your figures are nice. They're all 2/3. There are some potential issues. Part of it is proportion. Your figures look like their arms are very, very long. And it's not terrible, but if it's one of those, you may want to double check. Okay, so I'm going to give you that. And a lot of that comes from your stylistic design, which is fun because, oops, that's not what I wanted. Choices. That's not really an issue. What I see a lot of is a lack of fabric fold lines, stiff posing. I love your faces. I love your. It's a very classic line design, and I love faces. And the representation of body types. I love that. This is golden. But there are a few things we can work on. And if you can work on these couple things even in just your sketches, you'll see tremendous improvement. All right. What do I mean? Hold on. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to hide this for a second. You started. Actually, you can make this multiply too. I want you to be, and we'll just zoom in. There is a start, and let me get smaller pen, bright color. Let's just do blue. Oh no, blue won't show up. I want it to show up a bit better. Pink should show up. Let's just. Yeah, okay, fine. I don't want it to be red. Well, that's fine. Here, right here, there's the let me just draw it over here a little bit. The arm goes, and there's a sense of thickness in the fabric. Not a lot, but if you extend and double down on that, you'll get much more, you'll get that three-dimensional effect, because you do good with your breast placement and very, again, realistic, not hyper perky breasts. You may want to consider simply thickening to add depth and layers. Okay. So if you add a thickening to the even just an underline to add that there is some thickness to the it's technically a corset, but sort of bodicey. It's an interesting piece. The other thing, so add fabric thickness. And we're still focusing just on line work. Shading would do wonders for this, but you do really good. I love the line tracking because you do very good with the line tracking. But I can see just enough to tell that this has a little bit of bulk. So if you add just either tailor it tighter to fit the form of the arm, or add the folds just a little bit. See, that's going to show that the fabric is bending. Because like I said, an inner line will add the thickness or line weight. Okay, so let's zoom in and get there for a second. And this is just little. I mean, there is solid here. Get the wrong. Can I hide that? Thank you. Okay, cool. So line weight, a little shading, perhaps we'll let that look thicker. See, you show it again. It shows you have the technique to do it, because right here, that's beautiful. That shows the transition. I would decide, again, about the weight of this, because I can't tell right now. Whoops. Sorry, let's just zoom out just a bit. I can't tell if this part, the ruffles, are the pleating actually are above or below this part. So I would consider, if you're doing this kind of dress, weight this so it hangs. Oops, let me undo that last line. That's going to give you a little more depth. Likewise, this belt, well done in shape, but could use a little, again, just a little thickness. And I'm not using the right color because I want it to pop. Okay. So if you thicken that, you're going to get, because look, you almost did it perfectly right here. If this is very light fabric, but it's still going to, you have to think about a little bit of where the folds are. So I would say that. Another thing, this is the lace conundrum. The layout of these laces is phenomenal, except it will look a touch childish. Well, not childish isn't the right word, but not as professional, because these laces, like, okay, it shouldn't, if it's lacing through. So let me come over here because it'll be easier to do it on white than draw all over. Wow, that's bright. Let's just, so I can keep everything in line. Okay. Trying to keep as close as I can, just free drawing this, right? Only going to do a few because I don't need to repeat myself too much. But, okay. Let's switch to a color so it pops. This is going to be hideous, but it's done so that you can see what's going on. You have to decide which set are above. Okay? So what I would do is, okay, above. Oops. Right there. Undo that because that was a big hassle right there. And see, I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form. I'm just giving you little tricks. There we go. Now, back to pen. Below. Now, it can go over. Okay. So, you know, let's do it like that. That looks better. Oh, give it a second. It's saving. So. See how it's crossing and then it's there. The other thing you want to do is possibly add a knot, because there's nothing holding your laces together. Now that knot could be at the bottom, the knot could be at the top, but there should be some indication of what's holding it together. Zooming in a bit, we could change the laces just a bit. There are a couple details that can make this look even better, because we're going to combine some of the different things. Yeah, I'm still good. First, making the eyelet actually have both a hole and an outer, because when you have a dress like this, I'm getting distracted, so give me just a second. I need to fix something because I'm getting distracted by the knot lines. So we're going to make that knot much smaller, and that's just to keep it from distracting the lines. but a little knot, fine. A little bow. Go back to where wait, no. That. I'll bend back. Here we go. But this is very quick. If we add the ring, and I may need to move, let's move this. There we go. Inner and outer. My hand's getting a little tired because I am literally fresh off the stream. And we thicken. Remember we were talking about line weight? Here. Okay. Likewise, if you can, and sometimes you don't have room, but actually show the thickness. Don't do a single line, but do it as a shape. I probably should have used my Millipen instead, but so I've decided that one's going over. To keep it looking good, I'm going to repeat the pattern. That little detail, and I really want to play with the thickness a bit, is going to really help kind of pull out, and okay, we'll indicate the knot. So we'll just do it. We'll put a little like knot cover over there. That way, at least a joining is implied. Now, how did you do the under? I want to make sure the under works. Okay, cool. So grabbing just another, I don't want to use yellow, use orange. And yes, these are horrible garish colors. These are garish so that you can see what happened. Okay. You still need, and I'll just go back to the blue for this, to add the thickness. Now, you're not going to see it as much on the flat horizontal, but you will definitely see it on the angled vertical. Okay? Taking the time, and this is sloppily done, but time to detail. Okay? If you use this for shoes, corsets, I just can't remember how to spell corsets. Boots, etc. This, making sure that your stuff is 3D will help, because we can even be extra silly. I can come over here, hit another multiply, pull out a nice gray whatever, and I can rend it 3D. You can actually put the shading on your laces. Okay. Play with the shading here. You didn't have shading on your picture, but I couldn't resist just keeping it very pencil-y and light. Now, the next thing I would say, I'm going to hide this and make another layer real quick. That layer too? Yeah. Okay, cool. This is a normal layer. I can work with that. Let's look. The word of the day on all your pieces is dynamic. You occasionally use static posing. And you want to oversell. You want, well, not oversell, but that, like, this is the pose of somebody drawing somebody, but this isn't a natural pose. So, I think about it, you don't see people standing in that. Pose reference is going to be your best friend. I would look up, because of your background and what you like, female wrestlers, and don't look at their stills unless they're stills in action. And then it's gonna sound crazy, but R&B backup dancers. The choreography will give you more fluid, where you can just randomly stop and do gesture drawings. Because there is nothing wrong with your style. Nothing. You just need to loosen poses. Same for hands. Which are a pain. But that being said, I really want to. I like your faces, especially. Let me zoom in on her. Remind me of a very classic style. I can't place it. It's almost Frida. We could try some black work. So if I were going to ink this, and just because I can, I'm going to play with it a little bit. See if I can't get this to pop. You can still pencil like you're inking. Like, this is solid pencil work. But if you do add a little bit of line variance, play with your line weight. Note, I'm not taking away your style. All I'm doing is adding just a little caveat to enhance what you're already doing, which I suppose would be an inker's job. But you aren't, to the best of my knowledge, an outsourcer like Luke. You want to do everything yourself, and I respect that. I really do, Joe. I may disagree with you sometimes on different things, but I really do respect your work. And I quite like your I like this line work that you've done. But what we can do, like I said, with a little bit. I'm just playing with some techniques here, doing a few of the things I talked about. I may have to come and do some mild erasing, but I wanted you to see just a few little things can be done to highlight this, because this is a great image. I'm only adding just a pinch. That's too much. I gotta. Come on. There we go. But so just playing with this just a bit, because I still don't know where the light is. See, tuck it just a little bit more. It'll give her. I'm using your blues, okay? I'm channeling a lot of this through your blue lines, which are really helpful because your body lines are there. And I'm just going to add some of the things I mentioned. Because this is still very much a how Joe draws. Now the only thing I'm going to subtract. And I have to go to this layer. It's not letting me, is it? Okay. There we go. Let's see if I can do things. Yeah, I can do it here. Let me grab that color. And all I'm going to do, it'll take a minute, but just get rid of the bottom transfer line. Okay. I don't know if this is going to help. I hope it doesn't offend. But now we're starting to get a little bit more clear on what's going on. It's not perfect, but nothing ever is perfect. We've got to add our weight. Whoops, hit the wrong button again. Okay, there we go. And just, if possible, just add a little bit more weight to the fabric, because this piece probably is a lot less wispy than the interior. And I'm trying to keep both in the spirit. So you see where her arm goes. It's not supported, so it would probably rumple a little bit and follow the more natural line of the arm. Now, I could see it following here because you have this big shadow, but then it's going to fit tighter here unless it bells. Okay, and that's going to make a fold. Likewise, thickening this will give you a little more weight. It's still your style. And in fact, this is what a good inker would probably do for your art. Well, a good inker would be better than what I am, but this gives you just an idea. Now, there's a lot of room potential for black lining, but that's more artistic leaning, where you could play with the shadows just a bit. Now I am playing. This is just me visually playing. I may not even keep this, but because you have such good body lines, we can play with things like that. We can add a little black here. Let me see. Now, this is if I were going to ink it and make it pop. If it upsets you, again, I am sorry, I mean no upset. This is me just playing because I've had an image in front of me. And we're just playing a little bit with the lighting. But there we go. You can come here. Because this is quality. Whoop, didn't want to do that. And yeah. The hands need work, but the hands are something I'm working on. And I need to do a full episode of things dedicated to hands. But by just playing with the lighting a bit, we can make the character pop quite a bit more. Versus now, let's compare that. This is how she looked before I started tinkering. This, whoops, is how she looks after. My heavy lines have snuck in there. I can't help it. But it does do things. Whether you use these or not is up to you. But there we go. I played a bit. There obviously, there's a lot more one can do. Show some strain lines there. Maybe better indicate the edges of the fabric or something like that. Now I'm just really just playing with the image and adding detail. But that's what I was thinking. That's a start. The dynamic posing, just work off of some wrestlers. If you want a dynamic pose video, that's one I can get into as a separate public video. Anyway, let me shrink this. So let me just switch this over to here. I hope this helps. I'm going to post this to a secret link on Amazon, on my YouTube channel, and obviously I'll send it to you. And if you want this made public for use, I'll be happy to. If you don't, that's fine, but consider it a resource. Anyway, keep drawing, and we'll talk soon.